Hey there, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. I hope that today has been a peaceful, productive, purposeful kind of day for you. I've got a couple new journals to go in the shop today, my friends. They are, my goodness, I don't know what happens sometimes, but we just get these big honking things that just they just want to be stuffed, right? And really, I mean, what's the fun of having a skinny journal? You know, we're all looking for like that chunkiness, that expansion, you know, of our papers. So these gals are really chunky. We've got our beautiful gold illuminated text on a purple background here. This baby is about 5.5 inches thick. Of course, these are soft cover journals, y'all. So when I mail them to you, I kind of squish them together and then I wrap them in a couple of wraps of a really nice fabric for you guys, because I really love giving you the bang for your buck, and I hope that I always do. Every time I do a batch of journals, I strive to make them better than the batch before. You know, more stuff, more things to play with, different things to play with. So I really do hope, you know, that I'm hitting the mark with these things, and I think I am, because we put them in the Etsy store and wham bam, they are gone really quickly. So I really do appreciate that so much. Another 5.5 girth on this baby here. Not a bright cover, but there is something very, very appealing to me about this beige and white background. You know, it's not like in your face, blah, 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 but it has a paisley kind of feel to it. It has some flowers in it. The flowers almost look like they kind of have an embroidery-ish look about them. Not embroidered flowers, y'all. This is a flat piece of fabric, but they're just really, really pretty. The beads, bead strand turned out really, really good. I did use some glass beads as well as wooden beads on this. It also turned out to have like a long strand here and a shortish strand here. So don't know what that was all about. These books come together. They come together as they want to come together. That's all I really know to tell you about it. I do my work with them, and then they just kind of take on a life of their own. And isn't that cool? Because they take on a life of their own. They're very original, very unique. This one starts out with a sweet journal prompt that says, "Go there." Also, on the road again, trip of a lifetime, soak up the sun. So a lot of text fodder for you to play with, as well as map imagery and airplane imagery. I'm reminded that I should be at my sister's house right now, and my sister should be in London with her husband, who works for Queen, and none of that's happening. And it's like, well, shoot. I'm sure she would have loved to have gone to London. My sister does so much for everybody, but particularly for my parents. So anytime that she asks me to do something for her, like house sit or whatever, pet sit, then I really, really embrace that, because I do like to give back to her in any way that I possibly can. You have a journal prompt up here that says, "Don't forget your little 3x3 book," and you can use that as a mini glue book. We have a black and white creative cluster for you guys. This one has the letters that spell out dark. Remember, we had dark, dim, and black, because we're working in black and white for this particular creative cluster. Very grateful to my friends who saved the Wall Street Journal magazine for me. That is just, oh my gosh, it's just fashion incredible right there. It's so much fun to look at, and so much fun to think, oh my gosh, who would ever wear that out? Who would ever wear that inside their house? Just kind of fun. This is from a Childcraft encyclopedia. We can see that the child is abed, and she is ill, and the doctor is placing his his hand very delicately on her shoulder, you know, bedside manner. There was a thing such as bedside manner way back when. I'm sure there probably is bedside manner now. Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. So, bedside manner, it can't really be bedside manner anymore. With people having to be PPE'd, you know, geared up in order to care for others, that's got to be difficult for them. That's got to be really hard to not, you know, engage fully with a patient, you know, for their protection and for the healthcare giver's protection as well, right? You know, we're still in the 6 feet away thing and PPE and mask and all of that. I think we're going to do phase 3 tomorrow here. It's odd because phase 3 really isn't such a big change. I love this Singer sewing manual, you guys. The illustrations are amazing. To me, it's really fun to imagine a world. This is the doctor right here. The Iroquois arithmetic book. A world where people made their own clothes all the time. My mom used to make my clothes, but I did do like a lot of, I did have hand-me-downs. My cousins were kind of well-to-do, so I always had fun things to wear from them. I'm sorry, this got like detached. Put it back together. There we go. There we go. Which, you know, that was how you lived, man. You know, you used what you had, you grew your food, and that hadn't been that long ago. I'm not that old. I'll be 62 next month. And you kind of just, I mean, you pass things around. If your neighbor's kid outgrew some shoes, then you got them. It was a very use what you have, take care of each other kind of time to grow up. This is a cluster called Tangled Up in Blue, and I totally love this little illustration. If you are curious about creative clusters, I will do my utmost to put a link to my latest video about the creative clusters that we're using in these 6 journals that we have coming up, which these are included. This says, "Together we have it all." I found some really cool illustration, well, they're photos of patches. One is the Department of Agriculture Forest Service, and one is the Post Office Department, which I so super love because it is a Pony Express rider. So I thought that that was really cool too. We have this excellent piece of 1897 botanical paper back here, you guys. This is not a print. This is not like one of those printables and then I'm going to stick it in your book. These are genuine pages from genuine books. Beautiful I guess this is around 1950. I love these illustrations in these old cookbooks. I especially love the illustrations of the housewives. Speaking of housewife, I believe this is maybe Lana Turner. I'm not sure, but I don't think she did a lot of dishes. I really don't. We got a napkin for you to decoupage or collage with. Wonderful food illustrations. Aren't they just the funnest things? A little chippy that features a sweet little girl. She's got her hair pulled back. She's got a multicolor umbrella brightening up the cloudiest of days. You know, we've had cloudy days lately. We've had cloudy days in a metaphorical and metaphysical sense. And, you know, anything that you can do to cheer someone up, I think it's just really, really important that we, at the moment, well, not at the moment, all times, every day, to really reach out to those that we know and make sure they're okay, because I can kind of assure you there's a lot of people who are not okay right now. It's just a hard time to be in the world. But, you know, here we are, and we are where we are. These are uncertain times, but here we are, you know, again. sometimes it's just hard to talk about, but I think we really need to talk about it. Chris talked about it for a while on Monday, and you know, he is, I mean, he's like everybody else, you know, just having a freaking hard time with it, especially here in Richmond, where we are watching our Confederate monuments being torn down. Now, the whole Confederate thing, it doesn't matter what it is. It's that it's something that's being defaced. I think that there probably are better procedures to removing these things, you know, if indeed that's what people decide to do. And I think it should be like a people decision instead of a mob mentality to, you know, it's very disturbing. And you know, it's odd because when you have like this disturbance, do you remember in, you know, in Star Wars that there's a disturbance in the Force? That's exactly what it feels like. You feel like there's something wrong, and you know, that's just what it is. We've got a little leather and lace creative cluster for you guys. This is the Don Henley. He's the leather and the studs and the music. And this is Miss Stevie with her lace and her sequins and her bling and she's got more lace back here. So I really enjoyed putting together that creative cluster, and it kind of made me think, you know, there are probably like more ways to put together creative clusters that are musically inspired. Just, you know, something to think about. This is pretty much a chippy kit that does have some collage elements in it, my friends. These are from the collection of Miss Ida. Got some focal imagery in here for you. Again, you know, you can always look at the creative cluster video that I did before I started putting these together. Look at this. I think this is an awesome illustration, again, from a Childcraft encyclopedia. A policeman talking to a young man. I just think I love the way that baby is dressed. Is that not the cutest thing in the whole wide world? And then, you know, you've got this photo bomb of the women of the mannequins in a storefront. I just think that's really super cool. New destination is your journal prompt or your chippy, or a wonderful thing to send to someone if you want to send them something. Gifts, another little chippy bit, also used as a journal prompt. So you can use these things in different ways, y'all. This says make believe. You know, let's make believe we're getting on an airplane and going on a journey. It's been kind of odd, you know, I think when we had our phase 1, I think that was 2 weeks ago or so. You know, and we had, and I could actually hear planes taking off. We live 8 minutes from the airport, and we had heard no planes in quite some time. I mean, I'm sure they were there. We just hadn't noticed them. But really that day, you know, you kind of started noticing things, you know, maybe getting back to some kind of semblance of order. Thread and string, wire. This is like a little prompt. I think it is French on the back, but I'm not going to take all that apart. This is a piece of fabric right here. A bit of writing paper for you, because that's always really nice to have. A bit of Inspector Poirot. I love Inspector Poirot, and I would really love to have BritBox, but I would get nothing done. I can promise you I would get nothing at all done. Good thing I don't have BritBox. A bit of, there's a doily here, you guys, and a butterfly sticker, as well as this absolutely gorgeous piece of napkin. Now, you know, put all that together in your head. You are going to make something so stellar out of those, you know, pieces and parts. And that's the fun of it, isn't it? It's just to take the pieces and part of the journal and put them all together. I really dig creative clusters, you guys, because I don't know about you, but when like I'm cleaning up at night, I have to have a clear desk to come to in the morning. But a creative cluster on your clear desk along with a cup of coffee, man, that's like heaven in the morning. Something that you don't have to, you could do it before you go to work, before you do your WFH, your work from home. Just something to be creative with, and something that's probably not going to take you, 10 minutes to put together one piece, but there are possibilities, of course, for more than one piece in here. A sweet little journal prompt that says share, that has a butterfly on it. A happy little felt butterfly from our friend Miss J. Hey, Miss J. Happiness right here is your journal prompt. This is one of my favorite things. It says there is a local office. And yes, my friends, yes, there is a local office. It is called your bedroom. It's called your living room. It's called your upstairs bedroom. It's called your spare room. It's called your kitchen table. So, we are still doing a lot of work from home. I did read today about trying to get schools back in session in the fall, and holy cow, that was a really interesting read. As a former educator, it was like, oh my gosh, how on earth are you going to do this, man? I don't see this working, but you never know. Love this illustration of the chef. He's knitting while he's cooking on this super old-fashioned, this pot-belly stove, and he's got his little clock right here. Sweet illustrations from those I guess it's about 1950-ish cookbooks. Really super cool. A little piece that says thank you, thank you, thank you. Love these little stickers. And I just did a Chippy video. And you guys gotta help me, because are these clear stickers? Is that what it is? I'd like to have some more. And I thought, well, I'll just... order some on Amazon or something, eBay maybe. I know a lot of people are not using Amazon right now, but I gotta tell you that I just ordered a bunch of personal care things on Amazon, and it was a whole lot cheaper than me. Well, actually right now we don't have a car, we don't have a vehicle. Oddly, everything's just got a problem right now. Chris can figure it out. It's no biggie. But it's like, I knew I was not going to be able to get to the store, and I was not going to call an Uber. So I just ordered my personal things from there, and it worked great. And they'll be here tomorrow. La, 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 la. This is our sweet fabric. I think this was from Miss C. And Miss C sent this to us. It's purple. It's got this gold illuminated text on it. Oh my goodness, it's just such a fun fabric to work with. We picked up on the purple on the bead spine, and I did add this piece of scrap jewelry. I thought that was really, really pretty. To me, when I see illuminated text, it always reminds me of the monks who sat at their desk and copied religious texts, hours and hours and hours a day, and that's like what they did. In the time before books, you were just copying things, and copying was your life. If you were a monk, was part of your responsibilities. This says in the thick of it. I thought that was really appropriate. We've got a butterfly creative cluster here. It's got fabric butterflies. It's got cutout butterflies. It's got butterfly stencils. It's got wooden butterflies, a little bit of collage butterfly. So it's just got all kinds of things for you to have fun with. This little piece says Monday. I think I told you guys that I've been tracking our food and our food expenses since March. And my book is so interesting to me. If you're at my Patreon group, I'm going to show it to you guys. I really don't know if anybody's going to be interested in this or not, but me. It's a daily listing of what we ate, what I cooked, and it's also a way that I can keep up with what I have in the freezer, like what to cook next. Now, let me tell you, I'm not a stalker, right? I'm not a hoarder. It was pretty much normal for me to go to the grocery store a couple times a week and pick things up. Not now. You know, we go once a month. And it's really been, it's just different. I know that a lot of people, you know, maybe go to the grocery store once a month or once a week, or, but for me, it's just been unusual, and I've kept track of it. So I think that it's, you know, it'd be a fun thing to maybe look back on in a few years, should we be here in a few years. I'm kidding. I wanted to say thank you to Miss S. Man, Miss S sent us cards. Oh my gosh, so many cards. My mom is going to have a fit, because I always make sure that I send my mom little stacks of cards, and sometimes it's cards that you guys send to me. And, you know, that way she always has like my sister sends her stamps. So that way she always has like a little stash of cards to send, you know, and they're all-purpose cards. So, you know, if someone passes away, she can send a little note. If someone has a birthday, she can send a little note. My mom loves to send notes, and it's very, very sweet that she, you know, that she still enjoys that at 82, loves to send notes to people, loves to send pretty cards. So thank you, Miss S. A lot of those cards are going to wind up in Mama's hands, and she is going to absolutely love them. This thing is just gorgeous. It's a horse, and he's running, it is running through a field of wildflowers, and it says, "Dream On." Dream On is one of my very favorite songs, of course, by Aerosmith. In 2015, for my sister's 50th birthday, we went to Las Vegas. My mom, my sister, and my cousin Dave, my brother-in-law Dave, was working with Aerosmith at that time, so we did the whole like experience. You know, got to go backstage, see Steven Tyler's guitars. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And we, of course, got to sit at the lighting board, right? So you're at the lighting board. You're not like with the rest of the crowd. Oh my gosh, it was just stellar, wonderful, stellar. This is a black and white creative cluster. It says dark. And of course, you've got lots of other things in the pockets to play with as well. Art trading cards, art trading coin blanks, few rub-ons, all kinds of fun papers. We've got a little bit of leather and lace right here. Of course, Dawn and Stevie. I think the first time we were talking about a little bit of Marilyn Monroe for you. First time we were talking about leather and lace, I got it in my head that it was Tom Petty, and I know that's not right. This is, again, from the Childcraft Encyclopedia. It shows a man packaging milk in actual milk bottles, not in plastic jugs. I thought that was very interesting. You know, Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty did a lot of music together. Stop Dragging My Heart Around was like a huge favorite. I used to do a lot of Stevie Nicks when I was the singer in rock bands, because when I sing, I sound like Stevie Nicks. So yay. Those days are gone. That's okay. I'll let them go. Sometimes you just gotta let go of stuff. And it was time for me to let go of the performance end of music. I still really, really enjoy singing in the kitchen. Up here sometimes when I get out my little ukulele and, you know, learn something new. I did learn Three Little Birds by Bob Marley last week, which was fun. And then I found the ukulele chords to Landslide, so I'm hoping to learn Landslide pretty soon. The weird thing about playing ukulele after spending 40 years playing guitar is that when, and I think I've mentioned this, you know, when I read the D minor, I want to chord a guitar chord, not a ukulele chord, which is completely different. But it's been good for my head, you know, because it kind of teaches you new things. This is a Tangled Up in Blue cluster. And then I think what does your journal prompt says? Just for you. Hustle. I read something interesting about the word hustle. So instead of hustle, you should work to align. Because if you're aligning with what you desire, then the hustle is not quite so intense, right? But I know lots of people love the word hustle. Miss Leanne loves the word hustle. So I can't dislike the hustle because I love Leanne. This says more. These are nut butters. I just thought that they were really pretty. Dessert butterscotch sauce. This is from an old Teflon brochure. Cook so many ways with Eco Teflon cookware. So cool. A little bit of salvage script for you. This is from the 1957 Red Cross Home Nursing Manual. A little bit of vacation advertising. This one has trout on it and bass. I really wish Chris could go fishing. This is Kristen Stewart. I hope that's right. She was in Twilight. I gotta tell you, I love the first Twilight movie. Not loved it. It was way too teenage angst-ish for me, but I really loved the scenery. I loved the Collins's house. You know, there was just a lot to really love about that book, about that movie. Not the book. I didn't read the book. But yeah, just a little too much. We did try to watch Outer Banks on Netflix. That was a no. Too much. Just not being a teenager, you're just not into that kind of stuff. Another beautiful piece right here along with a felt butterfly. Patriotic Murders by Agatha Christie. I like the way this turned out because these are models, so probably the last thing they would be talking about was hiking, but it was just, oh no, it just fell together, and then it was funny, and then I wanted to use it in something. Echo Housewares Company. This is state-of-the-art Teflon cookware, coated kitchen tools for Teflon cookware. I don't know how old this is, but it's super neato. I did not know that Teflon was made by DuPont. Interesting. We've got another creative cluster for you here. These are beautiful blossoms, and it is pretty much a chippy kind of assemblage piece from Miss Ida's greeting cards, Trust Your Heart. I think that's a really good thing to remind us to trust our heart. Don't trust what you see on TV. Don't trust what people, especially don't trust what other people tell you, because that is an odd thing. You're just like, yeah, I don't know whether to believe that or not. But you also don't have to make a big deal of it. There's a little meme going around that says you don't have to respond to everything. That's me, y'all. I just don't respond. Let's just be quiet about it. Let's let it, let's see if it'll pass under the bridge. I realize that a lot of people, really do want to engage, which is great if it is, if it's sensible engagement. But there are a lot of things that are happening, especially, here in Richmond or in Portsmouth, that just don't make a whole lot of sense. I love this illustration. It says Food Festival. We can see people, the judges are inspecting the food here. It's just really super cool. Love things like that. I love illustrations, and certainly do wish I were a better illustrator, but that is a whole different can of worms, y'all. That's like a big technique right there. This is from the Golden Book, Dumbo. Really cute. I think that one of the most interesting things about processing the greeting cards is the vellum that you find in them. We just find so much vellum, you guys. Very pretty. A bit of animal brochure here. Love that little kitty with the super green eyes. Miss my kitties. And we have our last creative cluster is Purple Passion. So lots of purple elements in there. Guys, I will have these journals in the shop a little later on today. I am only getting to the post office once a week, depending on how the vehicle thing goes. And I know I have to go to the post office. I cannot print postage on my printer because my printer is horribly unreliable with its network between my laptop or my phone and the printer. So that is why I have to go to the post office. I know a lot of you have been kind of curious about that. I can't print postage at home. Doesn't work for me. But, you know, it's the one time I go out during the week, go run errands. So that's very, that's frugal and mindful as we are stretching our resources. Thanks you guys for hanging out with me. I wish you a fabulous Thursday. Have a great one. See you soon. Bye.